Morning. So, did you guys attend the last class online? Okay. So, with that uncertainty for the future, okay, you guys also should get adjusted to online classes a little. Okay. Because most probably the peak it will come in February or March. So the class have to be suspended. Okay, for a few days at least. So this is for sure, most likely. Okay, so it depends upon the government regulation. So if the government permits, we are never going to flinch. We are going to conduct classes offline only. If the government doesn't give permission for offline classes, the problem is last year and the year before, the peak came somewhere in April-May period. So UPSC has postponed the examination, which is actually very good for the students. And it was good for us too, because we were able to conduct offline classes later. But this time if the peak comes in February, March, then most probably they are not going to postpone preliminary examination. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So if they don't postpone preliminary examination, naturally we have to finish the syllabus before that. So that is the reason why we will be forced to take some classes at least online. Okay, if the government doesn't permit. If the government permits, all times we ourselves prefer offline classes. Okay, so that is the case. And okay, so in last class we talked about the evolution of in the last class, that is online class, we talked about the evolution of Western philosophy. Okay, I hope that the class has helped. And okay, if you have any questions with respect to ethics, okay, the additional things, whatever, like Indian thinkers on philosophy, on ethics, okay, those things I'll give as a handout because it is common with history. The entire thing I have already taught it. Okay, so that is one thing. And so most probably we have finished the first chapter, and sixth chapter, one part of ethics we have finished. So that is what we have done. Okay, the rest of the things will be later dealt by Mrutyunjay sir. And after that, okay, our governance teacher will also deal with some of the things, Vikash Mishra sir. So that is the scene. And today we are going to start with a new discipline, that is art and culture. Okay, one of my personal favorites, and it is a very, very interesting topic. Okay, and my opinion is that this topic, it requires, okay, very clear instruction and clear understanding on your part too, because reading on yourself is not going to be possible here. Okay, it is going to be tough. And did you see the mains paper? Okay, history part. How many questions were there? Some six questions were there, right? In the first paper, maybe what they are doing is they are increasing the component of history in preliminary, and they are, okay, suppressing on the mains part. Okay, that is what they are doing. So 6 questions. I think most of the questions you people will be able to easily answer. Okay, I think not even a single question has gone out of my classroom instruction. For people who have attended the classes from the start, they might be knowing. Okay, even modern India part, the people who have attended modern India, I think the questions were pretty straightforward, right? Okay, one is about the constructive phase of Gandhian movement during civil disobedience movement and non-cooperation movement is one question. Then apart from that, what other question has been asked in modern India? Social religious reforms. Which one? Contribution of moderates. Okay, we have talked about the contribution of moderates. Okay, very clearly. Okay, how they failed to carry conviction with the nation by the end of 19th century. Yes, that has been a repeated question. The same thing. Okay. Then apart from that, one more question on social religious reform movements. What is the Young Bengal movement? Okay, Young Bengal movement, I have given one of the most comprehensive information in class. Yes, what are their various contributions to science? Okay, they have established so many scientific communities. Okay, they were very radical. That is the reason why they failed to have long-term impact on Indian national or social religious reform movements. We discussed about it thoroughly, Young Bengal movement. So that also has been asked as a question. So if you are thorough with the class notes, automatically in mains, I am going to assure you that the questions are not going to go out. Okay, or at best they will be applied questions. Applied questions mein kya hai? Whatever is there in class notes plus your thinking process should be applied in order to answer the questions. Okay, so most of the questions they can be easily handled. One more question is on Bhakti literature that I am going to discuss anyhow. Okay, so all 60 out of 60 are from class notes, which is actually a very good thing, right? Okay, even preliminary we saw the questions, mains we saw the questions. The only thing that is stopping you from solving these questions is yourself. Okay, because you people are not reading. Okay, so you read the things thoroughly, then naturally you will be able to easily answer them. So that is my point. Okay, so please be thorough with the class notes. Okay, that is my suggestion from the start, and please be thorough with the previous year questions because they are going to repeat the questions. See, the subject also has a limitation. UPSC has been conducting the exam for 70 years. Okay, how many dimensions they can possibly explore? Okay, there is a limitation. So that limitation you should take advantage of by reading all possible questions. Okay, so this is one thing. Even at the cost of repetition, boring you, okay, sounding like a old man, okay, all of these things are fine for me. But you people should read. Okay, that is the only agenda of mine. Okay, from the start it has been the same, and now also I am repeating the same thing. Okay, there is integrity. Yes, okay, I am telling the same thing over and over again and again. Okay, but I can't practice because I am not writing the examination. Okay, so you people should, okay, I am telling you must and should revise the class notes very regularly. Only then you will be able to, okay, clear the examination. Must and should, okay, every point, every small, okay, word that has been uttered by the teacher, it can come as a question. Okay, it can come as a question. That has been the case. Okay, so you people should focus on the class notes. That is a must and should. And now we'll move to the section on art and culture. And in art and culture, first and foremost, okay, this section has been divided into some 4 or 5 parts. I have divided it into. So the first part is with respect to, okay, the section which is called, okay, religious history in India. Okay, the history of religion and philosophy. Okay, religion and philosophy is the first part. Okay, this is the first part that I'm going to deal with. And next one is I'm going to discuss Bhakti and Sufi, their various regional manifestations, literature. Okay, all of these things are the second part of the question, the ideology behind Bhakti, what Bhakti exactly means, okay, which is very, very important question. So this is the second part of the syllabus in art and culture. The third part of the syllabus is architecture. Okay, architecture, it will take 1 full hour, 4-hour session for me to finish architecture. It is very, very important discipline. Both in preliminary and mains, they have asked multiple number of times the same questions. Okay, architecture is the third part. And fourth part is, okay, with respect to sculpture. Sculpture is the fourth part. Sculpture, its evolution, the various schools like Gandhara, Amravati, okay, then apart from that Mathura, okay, Sarnatha school, all these schools I'm going to discuss. I'll show some images, iconographies, okay, what was Indian idea of beauty, how it is different from the Western conception. These kind of ideas I'm going to discuss as part of this section, which is known as sculpture. Then after sculpture, I'm going to move to paintings. There are many traditions of paintings, right? Whenever we say paintings of ancient India, the first image that comes to our mind is, which image comes first? एंशिएंट इंडिया का पेंटिंग के बारे में बात किया तो कौन सा इमेज आएगा आपके दिमाग में? Any particular place that is associated with paintings, very famous for paintings? Did you listen to the term called Ajanta at any point of time? So Ajanta paintings is the classical example of Indian painting tradition. Then apart from that, there are many regional manifestations, okay, ranging from Chola paintings to Vijayanagara painting, okay, and modern painting traditions also. What is the idea behind modern painting traditions? Also, I'm going to discuss, because art and culture, okay, even after independence is also very important. It means that modern art and culture is also important. Okay, modern art and culture is also important. They have asked some questions. The best example is last year's question on the parliamentary house. They asked a question on parliamentary house. Okay, so parliamentary house question, it is based on what? Modern architectural style. So I'm going to discuss modern architecture too. Okay, then after that we are going to discuss paintings. Paintings may from ancient time to medieval time to modern time, the transition in paintings. What did the Britishers bring into India? Okay, with respect to their painting traditions, how Indian painting traditions are different from the British painting traditions. All of these aspects I'm going to discuss as part of paintings. Then after paintings, I'm going to talk about dance, drama, and music. Okay, these 3 traditions: dance, drama, and music, important. Okay, at one point of time they used to ask more number of questions, but now the number of questions have reduced. Okay, but whenever they ask a question, they are going into the depth of dance, drama, and music. Okay, they are not asking superficially, saying that, okay, saying that where is Bharatanatyam practiced? Okay, Tamil Nadu. So I know art and culture. So that is not the case now. Okay, now the case is a little different. They are going to ask very specific questions and technical questions on these 3 forms. So we are going to discuss the technicalities of dance, drama, and music too. Then after that, the last section that I am going to discuss is literature of ancient India, ancient and medieval India. So this is also a very important question, because on literature there were multiple number of questions. Last year in mains they asked about Persian literature. Okay, so naturally all other literatures also becomes important. Sanskrit literature, Okay, then apart from that, I'm not going to discuss each state's literature separately. That is not going to be possible. Okay, Kannada literature ke bare mein mujhe I don't know anything. So that's what I'm trying to say is, if they ask Persian, automatically Sanskrit, Urdu, okay, and one of the national languages of India, that is Hindi, these literatures will automatically become important, and I'm going to discuss about them. Along with that, Tamil literature is also important, okay, because Tamil literature, it is considered to be the oldest, okay, the oldest. That is the reason why we'll read Tamil literature, okay, but not other states' literature. We're not going to discuss. Okay, if you are interested about your own states, you can read. Okay, you have complete freedom. No one is going to stop you. Okay, but these are the important sections that we are going to talk about. Okay, ranging from religion and philosophy to Bhakti and Sufi. Then after that, architecture, sculpture, painting, dance, drama, music, and literature. See, first I am starting with religion and philosophy, because religion and philosophy, they form the basis for architecture, sculpture, painting, dance, drama, music, and literature in India. Most of Indian literature, most of the Indian cultural formats, they have been inspired by religion. Okay, this also has been asked as a question in UPSC. Same thing, okay, that most of the Indian art forms are inspired by religion. How they are inspired by religion? First we have to prove. And definitely, apart from religious art, we also have secular art too. Okay, we have secular art too. I'll talk about it. Okay, and we'll discuss what secular aspects are there, what religious aspects are there with respect to Indian art forms. Okay, are you following what I'm trying to say? Okay, let's suppose take the case of Indian Parliament building. Is it secular architecture or religious? This secular, right? Yes or no? Similarly, the kings also used to construct their own palaces apart from temples. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay, then they were also erecting some stupas. Okay, not stupas, sorry, erecting some pillars like Ashoka did across India, and these pillars were also secular. So this way, secular architecture and religious architecture, we are going to segregate. Secular paintings, religious paintings, secular sculpture, religious sculpture. So this way we are going to segregate, and then we will try to understand these things, okay, which have been inspired by religion, and what aspects of religion have inspired these art forms. Okay, which aspects of the religion have inspired these art forms, also something which we need to master. Are you following this? So this is how we are going to look at, okay, and first and foremost, we'll start with the evolution of religion. Okay, the evolution of religion. You didn't get the handouts as of it. I think I have sent them yesterday only, but because of lockdown, maybe they did not get them printed. Okay, I'll just put across a message. 1 second. Okay. So, but these things anyhow, they will be present in the handout. You need not write much. You just sit and listen. Okay, most of the things are directly present. Wherever there is additional information, okay, I'll ask you to write it down. That's it. Okay. When it comes to Indus Valley civilization, so I think most of you have attended the political socio-economic line of history. Most of you. How many didn't attend the political and socio-economic line of history? The ancient medieval part you didn't attend. Any others? Okay, you also didn't attend. 3, 4 people. You also didn't attend ancient and medieval? No. Okay, so 5 people are there. 6. Okay, fine. Okay, if you did not attend ancient and medieval, okay, first and foremost, I think you have a basic understanding. Okay, I'll give a basic understanding of how history evolved over a period of time. Just 5-10 minutes. Then after that, I'll go to this section. Okay, is this fine? Because for the sake of new students, you just bear with me for just 5-10 minutes. See, when it comes to Indian history, it started with first and foremost a term called prehistoric period. Prehistoric period is the period when there are no written sources for history, then it is known as prehistory. There are no written sources for this period. And the prehistoric period is mainly known as the lithic ages, because the technology, it revolved around stone. Okay, around stone, the technology revolved. That is the reason why they are known as lithic ages. And when it comes to lithic ages, we had 3 lithic ages. Okay, one is known as Paleolithic, second is known as Mesolithic, third is known as Neolithic. Okay, these are the various stone traditions and stone ages that India had. So this is the first phase of history. Okay, but usually UPSC did not ask much of questions here. Okay, Paleo means old stone, Meso means middle stone, Neo means new stone age. So this way, history of lithic ages, it has been classified into 3 parts. Then after that, okay, we also had some civilizations which are known as copper and bronze civilizations. Copper and bronze civilizations were also present, which are known as Chalcolithic civilizations. Okay, Chalcolithic civilizations and Bronze Age civilizations also we had. So this is part of prehistory. Then after that, in India, there is a history which is known as proto-history. Proto-history, and in proto-history, okay, the issue is there are no written records. There are written records present for this period, but these written records are undeciphered. Undeciphered means there are written records, but we are unable to understand them. Okay, the best example is for proto-history. Which is the best example? Indus Valley Civilization period is the best example for proto-history, where there are written records, but they are undeciphered. So we are unable to read them. So the best example for this is Indus Valley Civilization, and this is the first urban civilization in India. First urban civilization in India. Okay, and it existed between the period of 2500 BC to 1750 BC. Okay, you write this term down. 2500 to 1750 BC is the period when we had the Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization, and it is the first urban civilization in India. First urban civilization in India. You might have heard about the terms like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, okay, Dholvira. Okay, recently UNESCO World Heritage Site has been given to Dholvira. Okay, this way there are numerous city-states, and it is a very large civilization. And here the foundation of Indian civilization was laid in Indus Valley Civilization. Okay, the foundation of Indian civilization, it has been laid strongly in Indus Valley Civilization, and we see many continuities from that period to even today. Okay, from that period to even today, we see some continuities. Then the next part is, okay, with respect to the period which is known as historical period. And the historical period, it starts with, okay, the early Vedic period and later Vedic period. Two periods are there. One is early Vedic period. The second one is later Vedic period. Okay, during the early Vedic period, we see the composition of Rig Veda. Okay, and it is somewhere between 1500 BC to 1000 BC. 1500 BC to 1000 BC. Okay, some migrants, they came into India from northwest, and they established a culture of their own, which is known as Vedic culture. Vedic culture, some people came from northwest. I think I talked about the Caucasian belt, okay, where from Caucasus region, people migrated and they came and settled down in India. So this is known as, okay, the Rig Vedic age. Then after this, okay, we have the later Vedic period. We have the later Vedic period. And later Vedic period okay, we see the composition of all other Vedas, and this is the period between 1000 BC to 600 BC. I think you understand what BC is, right? Okay, before Christ. So 2500 BC means roughly 4500 years, okay, prior to today. That is when Indus Valley Civilization was present in India. And it is the first urban civilization of India. 4500 years ago, Indians lived in cities. Okay, so that is the kind of development that India had at one point of time. Okay, but later there were many trends of decline too, but we'll talk about them later. So later Vedic period is between 1000 BC to 600 BC is the period which is known as later Vedic period. 1000 BC to 600 BC. And after this period, okay, the next period is known as, the next age is known as the age of Mahajanapadas. Mahajanapadas. The Mahajanapada period, it lasted from 600 BC to, okay, roughly till 300 BC. Okay, till 300 BC. For 300 years, we had an age which is known as the age of Mahajanapadas. Mahajanapadas are big city states. Big city states. And during this period, okay, we had major kingdoms. There were nearly 16 kingdoms which were present in India. So the Mahajanapada, like Magadha, okay, Gandhara, then Koshala, okay, all of these are city states, big city states which are present. 16 states are present. Asmaka, okay, Chedi dynasty is there, many others. Okay, 16 Mahajanapadas are present, 600 BC to 300 BC. So you write Mahajanapadas ke bagal mein very powerful period, very powerful states. Okay, powerful states were there. Powerful states were there during this period. And this is also the age of Buddha. Okay, Buddha as a philosophical thinker, he emerged during this period. This is known as the age of Buddha. Okay, so age of Buddha. This is second urbanization. Mahajanapada is second urbanization, that is first urbanization. is the second urbanization. Age of Buddha. It is also known as the age of transition to, okay, age of intellectual growth. Okay, many names are given to this period. Very, very important period in Indian history, and particularly for religious history too. This age of Mahajanapadas is very significant. Okay, because most of the new religions like Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika, Charvaka, okay, and many systems of philosophy also evolved during the age of Mahajanapadas. Very, very important. Intellectual growth occurred during this period. Okay, we'll talk about them. Then after Mahajanapadas, the next age is known as the Mauryan age. You write it down. Mauryan age. I think you know about Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka Maurya. All of them, they belong to this Mauryan age. And the Mauryans, they replaced these 16 Mahajanapadas with a single state, which is known as the Mauryan Empire. All 16 states, they merged together and they created an all India empire, vast in its extent, ranging from northwest to Assam, okay, from Afghanistan to Assam, in north from Jammu and Kashmir to in south till Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. The extent of the empire was there, and it was the strongest empire in India. Okay, most centralized, strongest empire in India. There is a Mauryan age. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka Maurya, all of them. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya was a Jaina. Similarly, Ashoka Maurya, he was a Buddhist. Okay, so all of these tendencies which started in Mahajanapada phase, they got their expression during the age of Mauryans. And after Mauryans, we have the next phase which is known as post-Mauryan age. Post-Mauryan age, and this period is roughly between 200 BC to 300 AD. 200 BC to 300 AD is the time period for this period. Post-Mauryan age. And during this period, there was influx of people from northwest. Okay, Greeks. Okay, write the terms down. This is important. Even in architecture, you people need to understand this. We had the invasion of Greeks, Shakas, Parthians, and Kushanas from northwest. Greek, Shaka, Parthian, and Kushana from northwest. See, the first phase of migration is during early Vedic period. The second phase of emigration or in-migration into India is the post-Mauryan age, when many foreign ruling groups, they came into India and they became part of India. Okay, and they were part of Indian culture too. These are Greeks, Parthians, Kushanas, and Shakas. Okay, all of these are foreign ruling groups. They came from Central Asia and they came and settled down in India. And while coming, okay, because of their entry into India, the very nature of Indian religion, Indian culture, it changed. Okay, they had very thoroughgoing impact on Indian religions. We'll talk about their impact on Indian religions. All Indian religions, they changed their core ethos in order to adjust to new ruling groups. Whenever a new ruling group comes into picture, religion naturally changes. Okay, this is the case because the religious groups, they require patronage of the kings too. Okay, they require the patronage of kings. That is the reason why whenever a foreign ruling group enters a country, the religion of the country, it transforms itself. And Indian religions also similarly, with the entry of the foreign ruling groups, okay, they completely got transformed. Okay, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, every religion, okay, it got transformed. In fact, okay, the very act of temple worship that we do today, it is an influence of the foreign ruling groups. Okay, temples were not there till this period. There were no temples. Okay, there were no temples, and idol worship was also not there. Our religion was, or Hinduism was based on what? It is based on rituals and sacrifices. But with the entry of foreign ruling groups, for the first time, okay, we moved to a new form of religion, which is known as temple-based worship. Are you following this? Okay, so this way, these foreign ruling groups, they had a deep and thoroughgoing impact on India, post-Mauryan age, and this age is also known as the age of, okay, it is sometimes known as a dark age. You just write the terms. It is called dark age, or it is also known as age of mercantilism. Age of mercantilism or dark age, it is called. Okay, post-Mauryan age, it is known as dark age or age of mercantilism. Okay, mercantilism means because this period saw flourishing trade and commerce. Okay, the things like Silk Route. Okay, then apart from that, Uttarapada, Dakshinapada, all of them, they became very popular at this point of time, and trade and commerce was the most important activity during this period, post-Mauryan age. Okay, next comes the Guptan age. Okay, Guptan age is between, okay, roughly 380 to 580. 380 to 580. is the age of Guptas or Guptan age. This is known as the golden age or classical age of India. Golden or classical age of India, this is called. Golden age or classical age of India, this is known as. And the Guptan period, okay, this period saw reassertion of, you write it down, reassertion of okay, you can use the term Hinduism here, okay, but I'll talk about the origin of Hinduism, okay, but you write the reassertion of Hinduism is seen here. Reassertion of Hinduism is seen here. See, the term Hindu, in fact, it is not a name which is given by the people who follow this religion to themselves. In fact, the word Hinduism, it is a name which has been given by the Persians and Arabs to Indians. Indians were called Hindus by the Persians and Arabs first. Okay, no one used this term before. Okay, Hinduism as a concept, okay, the word has been used by the Persians and Arabs for the first time. Okay, Hinduism, the word, it emerges from the river Sindhu. Okay, Sindhu, Hindu, okay, they're similar. And the people who are residing to the east of this Sindhu river, the religions they follow, okay, all the religious and spiritual communities which are existing to the east of the river Sindhu, all of them put together were called as Hinduism by the Persians and Arabs. Okay, all of them put together are called Hinduism by Persians and Arabs. And in modern times, the word Hinduism, it has been made more popular by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He is the one who used the term Hinduism to define, okay, the various spiritual and religious communities which are present in India. All of them put together, he gave a one name that is known as Hinduism. He made the word popular. Okay. Now, the next one is, so during the age of Guptas, I told you that there was a reassertion of Hinduism. Then apart from that, okay, once more during Guptan age, okay, there was an empire. All India Empire was created by the Guptas too. You write this down. All India Empire was created by the Guptas. And after Guptas, okay, the next age is known as the feudal age. Okay, the feudal age. Okay. You write the word post-Guptan age. Post-Guptan period. And it lasted from 580 to 750 AD. 500 to 750 post-Guptan period. And during this period, we see the rulers like Harshavardhana, okay, Chalukyas of Badami in south, okay, then along with that Pallavas of Kanchipuram, okay, all of them, they were prominent during this period, which is known as 580 to 750 AD. Then after that, okay, we saw the next phase, which is known as age of feudalism. Age of feudalism. And this age, it lasted between 750 AD to 1206 AD. Okay, 750 AD to 1206 AD is the period which is known as the feudal age in India. Okay, feudal age in India, and feudal age saw feudal decentralization. Okay, land-based rights were more important. Okay, all of these aspects can be seen during the feudal age, and there is a decentralization of polity. Decentralization of polity and emergence of regional cultures is the most important contribution during this period. Emergence of regional cultures and a decentralization of polity. Okay, all the vernacular languages, they developed properly during this period only. Okay, most of the religious literature also developed properly during this period. This period is known for a regionalization of culture or emergence of regional cultures, and decentralization of polity is the important aspect of the age of feudalism. Okay, decentralization of polity and regionalization of culture. Okay, this is the period when, okay, we see the emergence of various schools of construction. Okay, in North India there is a separate school, in South there is a separate school, in a Deccan region there is a separate school of construction. Okay, everything became decentralized, and regionalization of culture is the most important output of this period. And naturally, because of regionalization itself, we saw the emergence and the development of vernacular language and literature. Yes or no? Okay, Earlier, there was Sanskrit which was being pushed down the throats of Indians by Guptas. Now the Guptan Empire itself vanished and there were decentralized polities. Every region had its own king. So naturally the king will do what? He tries to promote the regional culture. Yes or no? The state chief ministers also do the same thing, right? So that is what happened at that point of time too. Decentralization means state level. Okay, so state, let's suppose Karnataka is there. Karnataka's chief minister will try to promote Kannada culture, right? Yes or no? Okay. So similarly, the state chief minister of Tamil Nadu, he'll try to say the Tamil is the best language, we should promote Tamil language. Yes. Similarly, here also there was decentralization of culture, and regionalization of culture is the most important aspect. That is the reason why, okay, there is enormous amount of diversity of India is attributed to this feudal age. Okay, diversity is what? Whenever there is decentralization of polity, diverse cultures emerged. So the concept of diversity, it got its significance here. That is the reason why you go from one place to another. Naturally, the temple construction style changes, the god changes. Okay, every village has its own god. Yes or no? Okay, the village gods are also an emanation of feudal period only. Grama Devata. Okay, so it means that for every 10 kilometers in India, the culture will change, the habits of people will change. Okay, all of these are outcome of this feudal age. Culturally, this is a very, very important age for us. Okay, we are going to discuss thoroughly about the feudal system. Okay, how it led to emergence of regional culture. Okay, all of these things we'll talk about in the age of feudalism, and it ended with 1206 AD, because in 1206 AD we saw the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, this is where the Delhi Sultanate starts, and age of feudalism is also known as early medieval period. Age of feudalism is also known as early medieval period. So this terminology also you just remember, it is also known as early medieval period. And after early medieval period, next age that we have is the age of medieval period, and during this period the first was Delhi Sultanate. Okay, and it lasted from 1206 AD to 1526. Okay, 1526 AD. So roughly for a period of how many years? Some 320 years, right? Okay, some 320 years Delhi Sultanate lasted, and during this period itself, okay, we see the ruling groups, various ruling groups were present, like slaves was first, and after that we see the emergence of Khiljis, and after Khiljis we had Tughlaqs. After Tughlaqs we had Saids, and after Saids we had Lodhis. Okay, 5 ruling groups were there, and each had their own construction style. Okay, very, very important. We will talk about the uniqueness of Khilji architecture. Okay, Tughlaq architecture, Saids are not very important, but Lodi architecture will talk separately. Okay, slave architecture mein, what are the remaining things today, like Qutub Minar. Okay, so all of these things we'll discuss in as part of this aspect. So there are 5 ruling groups which were present under Delhi Sultanate between 1206 to 1526 AD. Okay, 1206 to 1526 AD. Then after the medieval period, after the Delhi Sultanate period, in 1526 we saw the establishment of Mughal Empire. Okay, establishment of Mughal Empire, and it is known as the medieval classical age. Okay, the classical age of medieval period, it started with the Mughal Empire. Just like the Guptas are classical for ancient history, similarly the Mughals were classical for the medieval history. During their period, okay, there is flourishing culture. Okay, there were settled life conditions, so naturally it led to flourishing culture. Most of the Mughal rulers were also great patrons of art and architecture. Okay, they were patrons of painting, art, music. Okay, any stream that you take of Indian culture, Mughal age had its influence on this culture. Okay, dance, drama, music. Okay, apart from that, paintings. Okay, except for sculpture, because sculpture is not mandated in Islam. Okay, sculpture means there is not much of a contribution, but in all other fields we see, okay, distinct contribution of Mughals. Okay, and we are also going to talk about the major architectural contributions of Mughals. Like, what are the major architectural contributions of Mughals? Taj Mahal is one, Red Fort. Okay, so then Humayun's tomb. All of these things we are going to talk about. Okay, so this is the Mughal period. Mughal period is known as the classical age of medieval times. Okay, medieval times ka classical age is Mughal period. Then after the Mughal period, the next topic that we are going to talk about is, okay, that is modern, last one, modernity. Okay, modernity, and it started with 1757 Battle of Plassey. Okay, Battle of Plassey, 1757, and we saw the emergence of British age or British era. British era, and from 1757 to 1947, what are the major contributions of the Britishers? Okay, what is their architecture? Okay, what is their what are the different paintings that they try to promote? Okay, so these things we will discuss. Sculpture and dance, drama, music is not important during British period. So we will only discuss about, okay, two things, that is architecture and paintings during British colonial period. During British colonial period, what is architecture, what is paintings, we'll discuss. And after that, the next one is post 1947. Post 1947, India after becoming independent. Okay, India after becoming independent. As part of this section, we'll talk about the architecture of independent India, architecture. Then paintings we are going to discuss. Modern school, post or independent school of paintings, post independent school of paintings also we are going to talk about. Then apart from that, in this section, the folk traditions of India is an important part. Folk traditions of India, folk traditions. Okay, this is a section which I cannot discuss. Okay, the reason being, there is nothing of great substance to discuss there. But even then, they are asking questions. So I'll ask you, I'll give you a technique, okay, through which you have to develop your understanding of folk traditions and cultures. Overall, the philosophy behind folk culture, I'm going to discuss. But, okay, the exact manifestation of these folk cultures, I'm not going to discuss. Okay, because there are n number of things like folk literature, not folk literature, folk dance, folk drama, folk music. Okay, then apart from that, folk paintings were there. Okay, these folk things, I'm not going to discuss them. Are you following this? Okay, I'm going to give you a method in order to read them. And for art and culture, the prescribed textbook is usually most of you buy Nitin Singhania. Okay, you should buy Nitin Singhania, but it is too much of a bulky book. You should use it only for the sake of reference, just like Spectrum. Okay, superficial reading and basing your entire reading on what has been instructed in class. Okay, that is what you need to do. Okay, it is a very thick and bulky book. Don't try to read it through and through. Only superficially you read. Okay, only in folk tradition section, I'll give you some sections, some chapters where you have to focus more. There you focus more. Other things, okay, read just superficial. That is what I ask of you. So this is the book that you need to buy. That is Art and Culture by Nitin Singhania. And along with that, you can read one textbook which is known as Introduction to Indian Art. Write the statement. Introduction to Indian Art, which is class 11th NCERT textbook. Okay, Introduction to Indian Art, the red color book. Okay, and one more book is there that you can refer to, that is known as Living Craft Traditions of India. That is also an NCERT textbook. Living Craft Traditions of India. Living Craft Traditions of India. That is also a NCERT textbook. Third urbanization is during Mughal period or Delhi. Okay, you take it as Mughal. Okay, you take it as Mughal because there is significant expansion in urbanism. Even though during Delhi Sultanate period also there were urban centers, but most of them are camp towns or cantonments. Okay, they were not centers of trade and commerce. So that is the reason why Mughal period is known as the age of third urbanization. I think you got a brief picture, right? Okay, for old students, I think it is a repetition. But even then, okay, you might have forgotten, okay, what follows what. So that is the reason why. Consider it as a brief recap. And now we'll go to the Indus Valley Civilization period, which is known as the foundational phase of Indian history. When it comes to the religion of the Lithic ages, okay, when it comes to Lithic ages, we don't have any clarity about the religion of Lithic ages. Okay, clarity is absent, so we are not going to discuss the religion because, okay, they don't have any written text. Okay, no written text is present with respect to religion from Lithic ages. So naturally, without a written text, understanding religious aspects is more difficult. Okay, at best, archaeology can point you out to some idols, some paintings, and other things. But based on that, you will not be able to deduce good information on religion. So we are not going to discuss about the religion of, okay, the earlier period, that is the period of Lithic ages. But we are going to discuss about the paintings of that period and a little bit of, okay, their architecture too we are going to talk about. But first we'll start with, when it comes to religion, Indus Valley Civilization. Okay, Indus Valley Civilization and the religion of Indus Valley Civilization is important for us. When it comes to any religion, okay, in my class on ethics also I have talked about, Okay, it has three aspects to it. One is the ritualistic aspect. Yes, ritualistic aspect is one aspect. Then the second aspect is faith aspect. Okay, ritual, faith, and the third aspect is ethics. The third aspect is ethics. So these are the three aspects of any religion, for that matter. Any religion. And when it comes to Indus Valley Civilization religion, because even though there are written texts about Indus Valley Civilization, we are unable to decipher them. I talked about this, right? We are unable to decipher the religious texts of Indus Valley Civilization. So what we are doing is, okay, we are just studying the ritualistic and faith aspects of Indus Valley Civilization, but not, okay, the ethical aspects. In here, okay, ethics is not, we are not able to understand them or decipher them. So the ethical aspect we are leaving, but we are talking about the ritualistic and faith-based aspects of Indus Valley Civilization religion. Okay, and when it comes to the people of Indus Valley Civilization, okay, they are the first urban civilization in India. Okay, there are many groups of many communities here. Okay, like there is a big class of professional traders. There was a big class of professional craftsmen. Okay, all these various classes are present in Indus Valley Civilization region, and the central aspect of Indus Valley Civilization religion is, okay, there is enormous amount of diversity with respect to the religious practices in Indus Valley Civilization. There is a lot of diversity, internal diversity is there. It means that people who are residing in Indus Valley Civilization, they are not following a single religious doctrine or a single ritualistic system. There is enormous amount of diversity, okay, and the diversity is to the tune of, okay, that in an urban neighborhood too, every 10 houses the ritual or religious practice it used to change. Okay, which means that different ritual or religious practices, they coexisted together in Indus Valley Civilization. And this diversity based coexistence, it forms the foundation for tolerance in Indian society. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because you're accepting various religious communities or spiritual groups to coexist with you in your neighborhood. Yes or no? Are you following what I'm trying to say? Okay, so that is the reason why it is considered to be a tolerant religious system, and there is enormous amount of internal diversity in Indus Valley Civilization's religion. Internal diversity is there, and there is also an aspect of tolerance in Indus Valley Civilization religion. Okay, tolerance in Indus Valley Civilization, and the main information about Indus Valley Civilization religion, it comes from, okay, it comes from its seals and sealings. Seals and sealings point us to, okay, the religion of Indus Valley Civilization. Okay, seal is, okay, for people, you write it down. Okay, seal is small tablet. Okay, a small clay or metal tablet. A small clay or metal tablet. On which okay, text is inscribed, on which text is inscribed, and religious totems are depicted. Religious totem. What is the meaning of totem? Totem means religious object. Okay, totem means object. So small religious totems are depicted. So seal is a small clay or metal tablet on which religious scripture along with religious objects are displayed. Then it is known as seal. Okay, seal, and sealing is just an impression of the seal on wet clay. Okay, you write this down. Sealing is an impression of the seal on wet clay. वेट क्ले पे अगर आप सील को, okay, just consider it to be like the seal of any government office today. Yes or no? What is the seal? Government office का seal क्या होता है? उस पे you have the 3-lion emblem, okay, or the 4-lion emblem. Along with that, we have some scripture, okay, like Satyameva Jayate, or the said office's name will be there, or the person's name will be there. So that is what a seal is, right? And seal is usually used for authentication. And similarly here also the seals were used for authentication. At that point of time there was no paper. So what they used to do, they used to impress this seal on wet clay. Okay, so as to prove that, okay, a said thing is authenticated. So what they used to do is they used to collect all the goods that they have to transport from one region to another. They used to tie them in a cloth bag, and after tying them to a cloth bag, what they used to do is at the end, okay, they used to tie, okay, after putting them in a cloth bag, okay, they are going to tie the cloth bag, and at the knot, okay, knot where the goods are tied together, the knot place, they will put some wet clay, and on this wet clay they will impress the seal. They will impress the seal, okay, just like, okay, whenever the government seals any property, what they do, they lock it, okay, then after that they will bind it with a cloth, and at the place where the knot is tied, what they do is they will pour some wax, yes, red color wax they will pour, and on the wax they will put a seal, okay. So once this seal is put, you should not open that property. Are you getting this? So that is the same way that Indus Valley civilization people also used to do. So this is known as seals and sealings. Seals and sealings, they are a clear depiction of the Indus Valley civilization religion because they contain the images of religious totems. Totem means object. Various religious objects have been depicted on these seals and sealings. Then apart from seals and sealings, the next place from which we get to an understanding of Indus Valley civilization is they have constructed some small religious structures. Small religious structures, the word small is very important here. Okay, they never went for grand religious structures. Grand religious structures are absent in Indus Valley civilization. Only small religious structures are present. Okay, there are no huge temples or palaces in Indus Valley civilization. Large temples are not present. Okay, small religious structures are present, like the great bath in Mohenjo-daro. You might have heard about it. Okay, there is a great bath where people used to go. Okay, there they used to take, okay, public congregation or this, what is it, ritual bath they used to take. Okay, just like most of the temples also have a small lake inside them. Similarly, Mohenjo-daro also had this structure which is known as great bath because Indians traditionally believed that water has a purificatory capability. Yes? Yes or no? Okay, that's it. Okay, that is the reason why we construct tanks also in the temple premises so that you can take a ritual bath and then only you should go to worship the god. So this same way they also constructed one great bath, but there are no major religious structures in Indus Valley civilization. So this is the second place where you get information about Indus Valley civilization religion. And third place is there are some 3D images and sculptures in Indus Valley civilization. Okay, you write it down. 3D images and sculptures in Indus Valley civilization are present. And these 3D images or sculptures or sculptures, okay, they also point to Indus Valley civilization religion because in every house in Indus Valley civilization, just like today's India, okay, there were some idols. Okay, the idol is of mother goddess. Okay, Shakti imageries, they are present in every house. Okay, clay images are present in every house, and in every house, okay, they used to practice their religion just like today's Hinduism. Okay, wherein they used to light some diyas in front of it. Okay, they used to have incense candles. Incense candles means agarbatti. Okay, incense candle means agarbatti. They used to have okay, diyas also present in front of this mother goddess image. Okay, so and they used to have this kind of vermilion dots also which are placed on mother goddess image. All of these practices, they are a continuity from Indus Valley civilization period to today. Household ritualistic practices wherein an image of mother goddess is placed in every house, and in front of it they place diyas, they place incense candles, and they use vermilion, okay, in order to, okay, give this okay, what is it called, the Hindu dot, okay, tilak, okay, Tikka, okay, Tikka or tilak it is called. So this also they used to give. So this is what we get to know, that they used to follow, okay, mother goddess traditions. Mother goddess tradition, and mother goddess is usually associated with one, fertility. There can be an independent question on this. That's the reason why I'm explaining it properly. One is the mother goddess is a representation of fertility. Okay, is a representation of fertility. In most of the images, the mother goddess is shown as, okay, pregnant woman, or she is carrying some children. Are you getting this? Okay, because fertility is an important value for ancient societies wherever you go. Okay, because childlessness, okay, woman death during pregnancy is very common. So they used to pray to a god in order to make the woman of house fertile, okay, and healthy on one side. And fertility is also associated with land too. Okay, only if the land is fertile, then only there will be crops, right? Yes or no? So the mother goddess is on one side, it is biological fertility, on the other side, it is agricultural fertility too. So both of them are represented by this image of mother goddess, and people used to worship this mother goddess. Okay, we do the same thing even today. Okay, every village has a mother goddess of its own. Yes, Grama Devata it is called. Yes, every village has one mother goddess. So this tradition, it continued from Indus Valley civilization period. Okay, but right now we don't place mother goddess, directly. The images we don't place in the house. Okay, we replace them with more sterile gods. Yes or no? Okay, sterile gods who not sterility. Okay, what I can say is more civilized gods we have replaced it with. Yes or no? Okay, more civilized gods. Okay, who are family men. Okay, who have a happy life like Lord Rama. Okay, Krishna. These kind of images we have replaced. Yes. So earlier there was mother goddess cult. Then apart from that, there was also a big fertility cult in ancient India. In Indus Valley civilization period, there is a big fertility cult. Apart from mother goddess, there is one more fertility cult. Okay, and this fertility cult, it is represented in the images of Linga and Yoni. Okay, Linga and Yoni images we find across Indus Valley civilization. Okay, Lord Shiva's image is also, I think did you observe Lord Shiva's image at any point of time? It is Linga plus Yoni. Okay, both of them put together is Lord Shiva's image. So this is Linga and Yoni images. They are present from Indus Valley civilization period. So from Indus Valley civilization period, these images are present and people used to worship them. Okay, as a representation of fertility and life. Fertility and life is represented through these images. Okay, so the same imagery we are continuing even today. Okay, so that is one more aspect of Indus Valley civilization religion. Then apart from these things, Indus Valley civilization people, they used to believe in black magic. Okay, naturally, any tribal society or any ancient society, they usually believe in black magic because they are unable to explain the things which are happening around them. So they started believing in black magic, and we see numerous amulets. Okay, amulets means what are amulets? Okay, like sacred threads that you tie around your hand. Okay, whenever you go to a temple. Okay, the images of God that you wear in your neck. Okay, all of these things are known as amulets. Yes or no? Okay, colored stones that people wear on their finger, saying that this colored stone will bring me luck. Okay, all of these are known as amulet. Amulet is a spiritual object. Okay, spiritual object, and it tries to ward off evils. Okay, warding of evil is the main aspect of this thing, which is known as amulet. Okay, amulets people usually carry. Yes or no? Okay, to ward off evil spirits, you carry amulets. Amulets you carry. So amulets is one more thing that they used to believe in. Then apart from that, we also see the symbol of swastika. Okay, write it down. It's not given in the handout. Swastika symbol is seen for the first time in Indus Valley civilization. Swastika, I think you know swastika. Yes, okay, Hitler's symbol. Okay, same symbol, he has taken it from India only. Okay, swastika. This is how it looks, right? So we see the images of swastika also in Indus Valley civilization. Swastika images we see, and there are two terms which are given to explain Indus Valley civilization. One is known as shamanism, and the second one it is also known as animism. Okay, shaman means priest based religious worship is known as shamanism. Priest is the most important person in shamanism. Okay, it's given there, shamanism, which uses the shaman to communicate with dead people, shaman or priest. Shaman means priest. Okay, these priests are not like today's priests. They used to be a little different. Okay, they used to be a little different. So these shamans are people used to believe in these shamans. Okay, priestly class. That is known as shamanism. The second one is they also believed in this concept called animism. Okay, animism. Okay, which animism, it talks about what? Okay, that there is a spirit for human being. Okay, and this spirit, it moves from the human body to animate and inanimate objects. Okay, this animism as a concept, it has emerged to explain the concept of what happens after death. Okay, what happens after death is a natural fascination for human beings. Okay, because human beings are not able to understand what happens to an individual personality after death. So what they started saying is, no, death is only the death for body. There is something which is beyond this, that is known as the essence of human being, which is soul, and it moves from one body to another body. Okay, from animate to inanimate objects it moves. That is what Hinduism also says. Yes, the continuity of soul, and it is also practiced during this period, which is known as animism. Then, okay, if you see the images, the religious objects or totems which have been placed on various seals and ceilings, okay, we understand that Indus Valley civilization people, they are nature worshippers. Okay, you write this word down. They are worshipping nature. Worshipping nature. Okay, because we see, okay, on seals and ceilings, we see the images of people tree. Okay, tree-based worship, people tree. Okay, people worship people tree. Not now, but earlier they used to worship. Now they don't, right? Usually people tree is associated with evil spirits. People, you understand what people is? What is it called in Kannada? Huh? Hallimara. Okay, so whatever it might be. Okay, you people know it, right? You understood what this is, no, right? So people tree images we regularly see on these things. Okay, then apart from people tree, we also see numerous animal images. Okay, animals are considered sacred in later day Hinduism too. Okay, we have, along with Lord Shiva, we have bull. Okay, along with Ganapati, we have rat. Okay, along with Vishnu, we have Garuda. Along with that, Sheshasena Vishnu. Okay, Vishnu's imagery, it is always shown with snake. Okay, Shiva also is associated with snake. Okay, Parvati, she has her own vehicle. Okay, what is the vehicle of Parvati? Huh? Lion. Okay, so Durga, lion is the vehicle of Durga. Then apart from that, okay, so many gods are there and their individual vehicles are there. Similarly, here also numerous animals were depicted on the seals and ceilings, like bull, okay, cow, buffalo. Okay, then apart from that, some animals which are in the forest, like tiger, lion. Okay, all of these animals, bear is depicted, rhinoceros is depicted. Okay, all of these animals are depicted on the seals and ceilings and they are worshipped. They are worshipped. So that is the reason why they are people who believed in worship of nature. And of all these seals and ceilings, one seal is very, very prominent and important for us, which is known as the famous Pashupati seal. Okay, Pashupati seal, which shows, okay, aspects of later day Shiva. Okay, here we see a man sitting in a yogic posture. He is meditating under a tree. Okay, and some animals like, okay, bird. Okay, bird is the code that I think I have given this code once before too. Okay, bird is the code, okay, wherein some animals like buffalo, elephant, rhino, tiger, and deer. Bird, deer. Okay, all these animals, they will come in order to worship this person who is sitting in a cross-legged yogic posture and meditating. You're getting this? Okay, person is sitting under a tree in a cross-legged posture, in a yogic posture it is called, and some animals, they come in order to worship him. That is the reason why he is known as Pashupati. Okay, Pashupati is the term which is given to him. So it is, the animals are bird D. Okay, bird D means buffalo, elephant, rhinoceros, tiger, and okay, deer. Okay, all these animals are depicted and they are worshipping this Pashupati. Are you following this? Okay, so this is how the Indus Valley civilization religion is there. Along with that, there is also ritualistic worship too, with respect to usage of fire altars. Okay, fire altars means Yagni Kundali it is called. Yagni Kundali is fire altar. It is found in places like Chanhudaro. I think Chanhudaro is it given. It is present at Kalibangan and Lothal. Kalibangan and Lothal, at two places we see this fire altar based worship too. Okay, fire altar based worship too. And the Indus Valley civilization people also were not satisfied with, okay, just the normal animals which are present around them. They wanted to create some mythical animals. Okay, mythical animals like unicorn is one they created. Okay, even in Hindu temples also we see this mythical animals. Okay, did you visit any Vijayanagara temple at any point of time? Hampi. Okay, or did you visit the temples which are nearby Belur and Halebid? Okay, there you see the image of a, okay, half elephant, half lion. Yes, okay, which is known as Yali. Horse, elephant, and lion, all three of them are mixed together in the image of one animal that is known as Yali. Similarly, they also used to, okay, take parts from different animals, join them together in order to create a new animal. Because each animal is a representation of one or the other thing. Horse is the representative of swiftness. Okay, tiger or lion is a representation of courage. Elephant is a representation of strength. Okay, so this way each animal has one aspect. They have picked them up and they join together all these animals in order to create a new mythical animal. Okay, which is like unicorn. Okay, we see the images of unicorn on the seals of Indus Valley civilization. And have been n number of prelims questions asked on the same topic. Okay, and the most important part is they never construct any large religious structure. Okay, most of the civilizations which were contemporary of Indus Valley civilization, they focused on constructing large religious or spiritual structures. Take the case of Egyptians, they were contemporary of Indus Valley civilization people. What did they construct? Pyramids they constructed, okay, which are large religious structures, and okay, the burials. Okay, then apart from that, we also see Mesopotamian civilization is also a contemporary of Indus Valley civilization. We see large palaces and houses for priests. It was in fact a priest-dominated society. But here we don't find any of such examples. Are you following this? Okay. But Indus Valley civilization people also had great belief in life after death. This is last idea. Life after death they used to believe in. How will we get to know that they believed in life after death? Okay. Based on study of their burial sites. Okay, based on study of their burial sites, and in burial sites, along with burial, what they used to do is they used to place numerous burial goods. Okay, burial goods they used to place, and these burial goods are supposed to help a person in afterlife. Like some food will be placed. Okay, Pind Pradhan is also a burial good. Okay, we think that our ancestors are hungry, so we have to feed them something yearly once only. Okay, and we do Pind Pradhan, right? Similarly, what they used to do is they used to bury people along with various food items, okay, various coins, okay, and the objects which are favorite to them. Okay, sometimes we see all of these aspects in the Indus Valley civilization period. Which one? Gold ornaments and other things. Okay, gold ornaments, sometimes copper coins were also placed. Okay, all of these things that they used to bury an individual along with. Okay, sometimes even with gemstones also they used to bury. Okay, sometimes gemstones also they used to bury people with. And sometimes, let's suppose I have a favorite animal. At my death, my favorite animal will also be buried along with me. Okay, dog man burials we see. Okay, many in Lothal. Lothal is, you write this down. Lothal is the place where we see dog man burial. Dog and man are buried together. Okay, and we also see the examples of double burial too. Okay, only in Lothal. Okay, dog man burial and double burial, both of them are present in Lothal only. Okay, dogman burial and double burial. Double burial means, okay, so my wife is my favorite. So at the time of my death, okay, you bury my wife along with me. Okay, even though she is dead or not dead, doesn't matter. This is sati. Yes or no? Okay, first, but there is only faint evidence. Just 2-3 burials are there which are double burials. Okay, maybe that person is a king. Okay, maybe that is the reason why, okay, his wife was buried along with him. Only in few instances we see. Okay, not like later India, okay, where sati was a widespread practice. Only few pockets, only in one side, that is Lothal, okay, there is presence of double burial. Okay, but one thing is very important, that people with such different and vast variety of cultures, they were coexisting together happily and there was no internal conflict among them. Okay, that is the brilliance of Indus Valley civilization culture. Okay, so many people with different traditions, they are living together happily. There was no conflict. Okay, so that is very important. It means that there was acceptance, mutual respect and tolerance between various cultural traditions. Okay, so that is the case. Only in that seal. Pashupati seal, I think this seal, it was found in Mohenjo-daro. Okay, it was found in Mohenjo-daro. So it was confined to some regions. Okay, but the problem with Indus Valley civilization is because we are unable to read what they have written. Okay, we don't know whether the same Pashupati is the representation of Linga or not. Are you getting this? Okay, so that is a problem. That is a problem. But such brilliance, coexistence, most of the cultural traditions of later day India also can be clearly seen. Okay, this is what continuity of Indus Valley civilization till date is. This has been asked as a question too. Okay, India is a living civilization because the traditions which have been started 4,500 years ago, they are still continuing. Okay, take the case of other civilizations. In all other civilizations, there is a complete break. Take the case of Egypt. In Egypt, today, no one prays to the pyramids. Okay, because Egypt is completely Islamicized today. Take the case of Mesopotamia. Mesopotamians also don't follow their religion. Okay, all of them, Iran, Iraq, it is Islamic country. But in Indian case, the civilization which has been started 4,500 years ago, it is still living. That is the reason why Indian civilization is unique. It is called a living civilization. Okay, it is called a living civilization. It is unique. Okay, no other civilization had seen this kind of continuity. Okay, they asked exact question on the same idea in 2014. Okay. So end May I'll discuss some miscellaneous topics also with respect to culture. Okay, where they can ask broad-based questions which are integrating so many things. Okay, those kind of dimensions also I'll give. Okay, but the thing is you have to remind me. Okay, sometimes I tend to forget. Okay, so you should remind me. So those are miscellaneous. So in the first slide itself, you write miscellaneous aspects is the last one. After literature, I'll discuss miscellaneous aspects of culture. Okay, like this idea of living civilization. Okay, this idea of composite culture. All of these things I'll discuss at that point. Composite culture. Miscellaneous topics. So you understood Indus Valley civilization properly? Yes? Okay, now we are going to move to the next religion, that is Vedic age religion. Okay, Vedic age religion. Vedic age religion. Along with Vedic age religion, we are also going to discuss Vedic literature also as part of this. Okay, Vedic literature and Vedic age religion, both of these things we are going to discuss here. Okay, from here on, you'll have a handout. Whatever additional points I tell, you just have to write them. Okay. Okay. The Vedic religion, it has been formulated by whom? Okay, it has been formulated by the Aryans who have immigrated from Central Asia to India. While they were coming into India, they brought their own traditions to India. Okay, and these traditions, they are chiefly dependent upon things like, first and foremost, they are dependent upon worship of nature. Okay, they are nature worshippers. Okay, nature worshippers, just like Indus Valley civilization people. These people also worshipped nature. Okay, because they did not understand nature correctly. Okay, so what they did is they converted natural forces into gods. Okay, I think I talked about it in my ethics class too. Okay, they converted natural forces to gods, and it is also known as, okay, it is similar to, you can call it as a form of a paganism. Okay, you write the word paganism. Paganism is worship of natural forces. Natural forces. Indra, Varuna, okay, god of death, that is Yama. Okay, then apart from that, you have what other natural forces are there? Okay, Vayu is one more. Okay, so Vayu is also a natural force. Fire, Agni. Okay, this way, every natural force, it has been personified and it was made into a god, which is known as paganism. Okay, and apart from that, okay, so this religion, it has many names. Vedic religion, naturalistic polytheism. Okay, for one word to explain it is naturalistic polytheism. Naturalistic polytheism is one word which you can use to explain it. And apart from naturalistic polytheism, it has also been given the name of henotheism or kethanotheism. Heno or kethanotheism, it is called. And this term called henotheism or kethanotheism is given by Max Muller. Max Muller, I think I talked about him once. Max Muller ke baare mein. Did I talk about him or not? You ever heard his name? No, impossible. Yes. Okay, where? Ancient medieval mein. Okay, so he is a German Indologist. Okay, he's a German Indologist. His passion is studying India. Okay, and he is the one who gave this name of Kethanotheism or henotheism to Vedic religion. Kethanotheism or henotheism to Vedic religion, and it is also known as Adi Advaita. Okay, Adi Advaita, Kethanotheism or henotheism or naturalistic polytheism. All of these are names to the same Vedic religion. Okay, polytheism is worship of many gods. Monotheism is worship of a single god. Okay, then this term kethanotheism is different from both of these. Okay, under this principle, okay, of Adi Advaita or kethanotheism, okay, there is a single god. Okay, there is a single god, and even though there is a single god, he will manifest in different forms to different people or different forms in different times. Okay, just write it down. It's not given there. Kethanotheism is a belief that there is a single god who manifests in different forms, to different forms in different contexts and to different people, who manifests in different forms in different contexts and to different people. Okay, are you following what I'm trying to say? Okay, there is a single God, okay, who is known as Brahman, and this God, whenever there is a rain, he takes the form of thunder and he becomes Indra. Okay, whenever there is fire, he takes the form of Agni. So this way, there is a single God, but he manifests in different forms based on context and person. That is what Ketanotheism is. That is the reason why it is known as Adi Advaita, non-duality, but early non-duality it is called. Adi Advaita is early non-duality. Early non-duality. So this was the idea in Vedic religions. This was the idea in Vedic religion. Okay. So did you get the drift of my what I'm trying to say? Okay. So natural forces, they were personified and they were worshipped, and the people who were of this early Vedic Aryans, they were immigrants from northwest into India, and when they were coming, they brought their own belief system in naturalized gods. That is the reason why we see a commonality between Indian gods and Greek gods. Okay, in India we have Indra. There in Greek civilization we have Thor, okay, who is a god of thunder. Okay, similarly, there is a god of ocean in India called Samudra. Yes, god of oceans is Samudra, and what is he called in Greek civilization? Okay, not Atlantis. Atlantis is a place. Okay, there was also a king called Atlantis, but there is one more god who is associated with oceans. I am also unable to fetch his name, think of his name. Okay, this way, for every natural force, there is a god in India and in Greek civilization also similar, because all of them, Poseidon. Okay, Poseidon is the god of oceans. Okay, Poseidon is the god of oceans. Similarly, in India we have Samudra. There we have Thor. Here we have Indra. Okay, so this way, all the gods are common between the Western civilization and Indian civilization, because all of them they came from the same stock of people. Okay, in different regions, they evolved in different format. Okay, so this is the story. And apart from this belief in natural forces, they also brought in some element of ritual and sacrifice as part of their religion. Okay, ritual and sacrifice is one more aspect of the religion. First is worship of natural forces. Second one is ritual and sacrifice. And these rituals and sacrifices, okay, they were around the cult of either fire. Okay, they were around the cult of fire. Okay, it means that they used to construct sacrificial pits, and they used to conduct many yagas and yajnas, which are rituals and sacrifices. Yaga, yajna. Okay, and these yagas and yajnas were conducted in order to, in their main aspiration is what? Vedic religion. Okay, Vedic religion, its main aspiration was material benefit for people. You write this down, it's not given there. Vedic religion's chief aspiration is material benefit for people. And at the point of time, material wealth means, okay, see, these are Rigvedic people, they don't know agriculture. They were chiefly pastoral people. You write this statement also down. They were pastoral in nature. Pastoral means they were shepherds. Okay, cattle shepherds they were. Okay, they are pastoral people. So material wealth for them is more number of cattle. Okay, so what they used to conduct their sacrifices and rituals for, more number of cattle on one side. On the other side, they also wanted sons. Okay, for the sake of son, for the sake of material wealth, they used to conduct these rituals and sacrifices. Okay, rituals and sacrifices they used to conduct. So this is the second aspect. And these rituals and sacrifices they used to do either through by the usage of ghee. Okay, ghee is known as havir. Okay, whenever you use ghee in sacrifice, then it is known as havir yajna. Okay, havir yajna is the one which uses ghee as part of sacrifice. And there is a second kind of sacrifice which uses, okay, a special drink which is known as soma. Okay, soma based sacrifice is the second kind of sacrifice. In fact, this soma is a hallucination drug. Okay, it is a drug which creates hallucinations. Okay, just like the drugs like drugs people use today, like what is it called? Hemp. Okay, hemp, ganja. Okay, in India it is known as ganja, right? Okay, soma is also one such hallucinogenic drug. Okay, when people used to consume this, they used to get some, this is called hallucinations they used to get, and based on these hallucinations only, okay, they used to, in these hallucinations only, they used to conduct most of their yajnas and sacrifices, and they used to pour the hallucinogenic drug also into the sacrificial pit. Okay, so which is known as soma, but we don't know where soma is today. Okay, soma is not identified with any contemporary drug, but at that point of time, okay, they used to say that in Himalayas the plants of soma are present. They used to go there, collect them, bring them, okay, grind them, make it into a liquid and use it for sacrifice and for consumption. Most of the priests before sacrifice, they used to drink it and then they used to do sacrifices. Okay, this is a hallucinating drug. Okay, hallucinating drug, and they used to consume this. And the place of soma is Muzawat. Okay, you write this term down. Muzawat is a mountain in Himalayas. Muzawat, and they say that the best quality soma is found in this place called Muzawat. The place has not been identified, and we don't know which drug is soma. Okay, but people used to consume this, and they used to get some hallucinations on based on that. Okay, they used to perform rituals and sacrifices, which are known as soma yajnas. Soma yajnas. Okay, soma yajnas they used to conduct. They used to conduct, and apart from that, okay, when it comes to Vedic religion, in Vedic religion, while conducting these sacrifices, okay, people wanted some kind of mantras in order to conduct these sacrifices. Okay, while sitting near a sacrificial pit, naturally you have to recite some mantras, okay, while pouring the ghee. Okay, so for that they started formulating some sacrificial hymns. Okay, hymns for sacrifice they used to compose. Okay, hymn means what? A poem. They used to compose poems for sacrifice, and these poems, they became the Vedic literature. Okay, they became the Vedic literature. The poems which have been composed by the priests in order to facilitate these yagnas and yagas, they became part of the Vedic literature. Okay, Rig Veda is a book of hymns which just talks about what? Okay, first and foremost, it talks about what are the hymns which have to be recited during a yaga or yagna. Okay, and if you have to specifically formulate them, okay, and you have to follow the pronunciation of the said sacrificial hymns also as they are, okay, first formulated. They are given sacredness. So that is the reason why they have to be pronounced in the same fashion, and the timing at which they have to be recited, okay, the way in which they have to be recited, okay, the method in which they have to be done, all of them have been clearly laid down in Rig Veda. Let's suppose, okay, you want sun, okay, then there is a specific set of hymns which you have to invoke while conducting a sacrifice so that you will have a son. Okay, if let's suppose you want victory in war, there are some specific set of hymns which have to be recited in order to ensure that you are going to win in war. Similarly, for more cattle also there are specific hymns. For rain also there are specific hymns. Okay, for rain, okay, because rain is also very important for the people at that point of time. Later rain became even more important because they became agricultural communities. So for rain also there are specific hymns. Okay, for good weather there are specific hymns. So in this way they specified specific hymns for each thing. And apart from that, in Rig Veda itself, so I told you that there are rituals, okay, belief, faith and ethics. Three parts are there, right, for every religion. And in Vedic religion, rituals you understood, okay, faith is in natural forces, and the last part is ethics. When it comes to ethics, Rig Veda, it proposes a social ethic for society, a ethic for society which is known as the Varnashrama system. Okay, not ashrama, you write Varna order. Okay, it specifies Varna order, and the 10th mandala of Rig Veda, it is the one. 10th mandala means the 10th chapter of Rig Veda. Rig Veda is a big book. It contains 10 mandalas. Okay, it contains 10 mandalas. These 10 mandalas mein, okay, the 10th mandala mein, there is a hymn which is known as Purusha Sukta. Purusha Sukta, and Purusha Sukta forms the origin for later day emergence of Varna system. Okay, here they say that out of the head of Brahma, okay, the supreme god, okay, supreme god, Catholicism mein there should be a supreme god. So the supreme god is Brahma, and his emanations are various gods. And this Brahma, okay, from his head, Brahmins have emerged. From his shoulders, okay, the community called Kshatriyas have emerged. From his tummy, some places it is said tummy, some places it is said thighs. From thighs, Vaishyas have emerged. From feet, Shudras have emerged. So this way, Purusha Sukta hymn is the one which is associated with the origin of Varna system in India. The origin of Varna system in India, and it is part of Rig Veda. Social ethic it preaches. Okay, it preaches social ethic that people can be classified into 4 different Varnas. Okay, it classified the society. So this is their ethic. This is one more important aspect. And when it comes to Vedic literature, there are 2 parts to Vedic literature. One is known as the part which is called Shruti, and the second one is known as Smriti. Shruti and Smriti are the 2 parts. When it comes to Shruti, Shruti is the revealed section of Rig Veda, not Rig Veda, Vedas. Revealed section. Revealed section means it has not been written by human beings, but it has been revealed by God to the priests. Yes or no? So can you name example of any other revealed text? Huh? Quran is also a revealed text. Bible is also a revealed text, okay, wherein God has communicated it to the prophet, and prophet has written it down for the sake of general public. So similarly, the Vedic literature is also considered, some parts of Vedic literature are also considered as a revealed text, which means revealed text, which is Shruti. Shruti is the listened one, the listened part. Okay, the listened part where God revealed these things to the priests. Okay, revealed part, and the revealed part are the revealed parts are usually the Veda, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Okay. Veda, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad, 4 parts are there which put together called Veda. Okay, I'll just give an explanation of what a Veda is here, and after that we'll move to the next part. And whereas the Smriti is the one which is traditionally brought down, and it is written by humans. So it is written by humans, and it has been traditionally brought down from one generation to another, and this is known as the Smriti. And we have Vedanga, Upaveda, Purana, all 3 things as part of Smriti literature. Shruti literature, Smriti literature, 2 parts. Okay, when it comes to a Veda, every Veda, let's suppose if I say Rig Veda, it contains 4 parts to it. The first part is the Veda itself. The second part is the Brahmana, which is an explanatory text on Vedas. And the third part is Aranyaka, okay, which talks about the mysticism. And 4th part is Upanishad, which talks about the philosophy. Okay, you write these explanations there only. Okay, Veda, first one, that is hymn. Okay, Veda is the poem, hymn. Brahmana is explanation of the hymn. Aranyaka is the magic behind the hymn. Whereas Upanishad is the philosophy behind it. Okay, let's suppose if I say Rig Veda is associated with some Brahmanas. Then it is associated with some Aranyakas, and it is also associated with some Upanishads. Are you getting this? Okay, magic or mysticism, philosophy, then explanation along with the hymn. So this is how we need to have a look at the Veda. Okay, whenever you buy a book called Rig Veda, the hymn will be given, the Brahmana explanation, the magic, and the philosophy. So this way usually they are organized. Okay, this is important. And the term Veda, it comes from the word called Vid. Vid means to know. Okay, knowledge. Seeking knowledge is meaning of Veda or Vid. You seek knowledge through Veda. Okay, Veda is the hymn, okay, or the poem. Brahmana is the explanation. Okay, whereas Aranyaka is the magic or mysticism behind a hymn. Magic or mysticism. Whereas Upanishad is the philosophy behind the hymn, is known as Upanishad. Are you following what I'm trying to say? Yes? And just like the Indus Valley civilization system, here too, the Vedic system is also not having any unitary voice about God. Okay, it accepts multiple paths towards God. Okay, this is the brilliance of Vedic religion too. Similar to Indus Valley civilization, they also accept multiple paths towards the same God. Okay, which is known as Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Okay, the word is important. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. I think I have talked about it in social religious reform movements too, if you remember. I have given it below. Niche diya hai, dekho. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Not given. It is given somewhere. The next page, I think. Vedic religion के explanation के बारे में जहाँ बात कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे. You write this. You highlight the term. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. It means that there is only one single truth, but the wise give it a different names. Second page. Okay, second page. What is the heading? Prominent ideas of Vedic religion. I am discussing all the prominent ideas too. Okay, so it is said that Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadante means there is only one truth, but the wise call it with different names. It means that there is only one God, and the wise, they look at the same God from different perspectives. Okay, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadante, and definitely this is a very, very important quote based on which, okay, many of the later socio-religious reformers too, they formulated this concept of religious universalism. Remember religious universalism? Okay, religious universalism is acceptance of different religions as different paths towards same God. As different rivers flow towards the same ocean, okay, similarly, the different religions also flow towards the same God. Okay, Bhagwan ke paas jate. Okay, that's what they say. Okay, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also talks about the same thing. Yes, Swami Vivekananda also accepts the same idea. Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Okay, all the social religious reformers, they talk about the same idea. Okay, it is based out of this concept called Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadante. Okay, very, very important. Even Modi quotes it multiple number of times, but he doesn't practice. Okay, okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so this is one more idea which is important in Vedic religion. And in Vedic religion, most of the gods are male. Okay, in prominent ideas, you write this idea also down. Most of the gods are male. Okay, most of the gods are male, and the gods are classified into three sections. Okay, three sections. You write this down. Three sections. One is terrestrial. Second one is atmospheric, and the third one is cosmological. 1 second. Divides the gods into three domains: Prithvi, earthly; Antariksh, atmospheric; Dayu, celestial. Okay, these three things you write. Gods are classified into Prithvi, Antariksh, and Dayu. Dayu means celestial. Celestial gods, atmospheric gods, and terrestrial gods. Three kinds of gods are there. Okay, three kinds of gods: atmospheric, earthly, and celestial. Okay, atmospheric gods are gods like sun, moon. Okay, or all of them, they become atmospheric gods. And Dayu is celestial gods, and the best example of a celestial god is Brahma. Okay, the supreme entity in Vedic religion is a celestial god. Okay, celestial god. Atmospheric gods are sun, moon, Indra, okay, Varuna. All of them are celestial. And there are terrestrial gods too. Okay, the gods who are present on earth. Okay, so this significance is there is a clear hierarchy of gods too. Okay, the base is terrestrial, then atmospheric, then celestial. Okay, terrestrial gods, we can give the names of people like Aranyani. Okay, Aranyani is the forest goddess. The goddess of forest is known as Aranyani, terrestrial god. Then river goddesses. Okay, every river is personified as a woman god. Okay, like Saraswati is one god. Okay, then apart from that, we have goddesses like, okay, for each river in Indus Valley system. Okay, because they are living in Saptasindhu region. Okay, each river of Saptasindhu, it is associated with one or the other goddess. So these are known as terrestrial gods who are present on earth, atmospheric and celestial. So this way they have created three levels of gods, and male gods, they dominate the female deities. Okay, cult of fire and soma I talked about already. And the highest idea in the Vedic thought is the idea of this Rita. Okay, you highlight the term Rita. Rita is, okay, not Rita, it is Rita. Okay, Rita. It's called Rita. Rita is the highest ideal in the Vedic literature. Okay, Rita. Okay, this has been asked as a preliminary question in 2014. Okay, what is the meaning of Rita? It is the highest ideal in the early Vedic religion. Okay, what is this highest ideal? Rita means order or balance. Rita means order or balance, it is called. Order or balance it is called. And this order or balance, it is both natural, social and individual. 3 levels it has to be applied. Natural, social and individual level, this balance has to be applied. Natural level, social level and individual level. All 3 places we have to apply the same idea of order. Okay, what is natural order? What is natural order? Does nature have any order or no order? Disorder is the order of nature, sir. Okay, these kind of things can be asked as essays too. Okay, based on this year's paper, okay, disorder is the real order, tomorrow they will give. Okay, I think some interesting observations have been made. I think some people have equated, okay, the UPSC essay topics to Nityananda's speeches. Okay, this me talks to that me, and this me is observing that me. Okay, so that way they have given the essay topics too. So similarly, okay, here natural order. What is natural order? Does nature have an order? Birth and death is natural order. Good. Okay, so that is birth and death is nature's order. Okay, then day and night is also nature's order. Okay, similarly, seasons are also nature's order. Yes, season is nature order. Okay, summer comes, winter comes, okay, rainy season comes. All of them are nature's orders. So the Vedic people, they have observed that nature is following some rules, some order it is following. Are you following this? Okay, that is what we are explaining through science today. Nature's order only we are explaining through science. Okay, gravitational waves and other things are all what they are part of natural order. So they have observed this natural order in their surroundings. Okay, in their environment they have observed some natural order and they have understood that nature follows some rules. Similarly, the same rules, similarly the society also follows some rules in order to sustain itself, and there should not be any disorder in society. That is where ethics start, right? Okay, ethics are what? Similarly, the rules which society places on itself in order to have order in society. Yes, no. Okay, without ethics there will be disorder, anarchy. Similarly, what they said is, see, as nature has order, similarly society also needs to have some order. And this order of society, it became ethics. Okay, it became ethics. You write this down. Social order became ethics. Social order became ethics. And okay, social order mein kya hai? Okay, there is at birth there are 4 varnas, and this is the social order. The order has to be followed. Apart from that, okay, so social order mein people have to follow dharma. Okay, that is ethics in life. Okay, all of these are part of the social order. And the next one is last one, that is individual order. What is individual order? Okay, when is individual in order and when he is out of order? When he is following his dharma, then he is in order. Okay, if a person is of integrity, then he is automatically having individual order. Yes, okay, what he think, speak and act is the same thing. So then there is order in individual action. So individual order is individual morality. Okay, individual morality is individual order. So that is how, okay, they gave the explanation of why be ethical. Okay, they are saying that nature is following some rules. Similarly, society should follow the same rules, and individual also should follow the same rules. And to this Rita, they made Varuna as the chief deity of Rita. You write it down. It's given. It's given. Okay, Varuna is the chief deity of Rita. Okay, it means that Varuna will oversee order in individual life. He will oversee order in nature, and he will oversee order in society too. Whenever a society follows, okay, anartha. Anartha is what? If you go against Rita, then it becomes anartha. Okay, are you getting what I'm trying to say? Anartha, usually it is said, right? Okay, anartha. If some person goes against rules, then it is known as anartha. Anartha. Okay, if someone follows anartha, the Varuna is going to punish them. Okay, with the help of floods. Okay, sometimes, or through drought. Okay, when the society goes against dharma, there will be drought, there will be floods, there will be natural events which go beyond human control. Okay, like COVID. Yes or no? Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? See, their mental makeup is made this way. Whenever there is adharma in society, there will be natural disasters. Nature will punish through God. That Varna will punish people. So that is what they believed in. Okay, this is very, very important idea. That is Anartha and Rita. And from this idea of Rita itself, later date two concepts emerged. One is known as Dharma and the second is known as Satya. Okay, Satya and Dharma are two ideas which emerged from this concept of Rita. Dharma became social order, Satya became an aspiration for individual. Are you understanding this relation? Okay, Satya or pursuit of truth is the aspiration for an individual. If you pursue Satya, automatically you will become ethical. That is what Gandhi also believed in. Yes. Okay, pursuit of truth is pursuit of ethics. Okay, pursuit of untruth is pursuit of unethical acts. Are you understanding the link between these things? Okay, all of them are integrated. Okay, Dharma, Satya, Rita. Okay, from Rita itself, Dharma and Satya, they emerged during later Vedic period. Okay, so Anartha, Rita, this is one important idea which gives the basis for ethics in Vedic religion. Ethics in Vedic religion. Then, okay, along with that, if you see other important aspects of Vedic, prominent ideas in Vedic religion, okay, there is this idea called Satyameva Jayate. Yes, Satyameva Jayate, it is part of Mundaka Upanishad. It has been asked multiple number of times as a question. Okay, where did we take our national motto, Satyameva Jayate, from? Okay, we took it from the Upanishad which is known as Mundaka Upanishad. Okay, Mundaka Upanishads. And along with that, okay, they also say that every individual will have two kinds of lakshanas, habits. One is pravritti, the other one is nivritti. Pravritti lakshana, it is action oriented and it leads to abhyudaya or progress. Abhyudaya or progress. And the next lakshana is known as nivritti lakshana or renunciation. Renunciation, it has one more meaning which is known as nishreyasa. Okay, nishreyasa or nivritti lakshana. Nivritti lakshana is freedom from bondage. One is action, the second one is renunciation. Okay, pravritti lakshana, nivritti lakshana. Pravritti lakshana is action oriented. You try to do something and progress in life. That is what is known as abhyudaya. Okay, all of the things that you are doing, like studying, is pravritti lakshana. Okay, if you put aside your book and go into meditation, then it is known as nivritti lakshana. Okay, so pravritti and nivritti, there should be a balance between these two things. Okay, between action and inaction, there should be balance. Okay, so that is what Bhagavad Gita also says. Yes, same ideas. Okay, all of them, they are part of this same flow. Okay, I'll talk about all these ideas. Pravritti and nivritti lakshanas it talks about, and it also talks about the ceremonies or rituals which are to be conducted called Shrauta. Shrauta and Griha ceremonies. Two kinds of ceremonies are there, Shrauta and Griha. Shrauta means big public ceremonies. Griha means private ceremonies which are conducted at home. When it comes to Shrauta, big public ceremonies, we have ceremonies like Vajapeya, Rajasuya and Ashwamedha. And they are conducted with the help of Havir and Soma. Havir and Soma yajnas they are. Okay, Vajapeya, Rajasuya and Ashwamedha. Ashwamedha, you know, right? Okay, when you leave a horse and wherever the horse goes, that is your land. Yes, that is what is known as Ashwamedha sacrifice. It is a sacrifice for imperialism. Sacrifice of imperialism. You write that word down. Ashwamedha is a sacrifice of imperialism. Okay, Rama does this, right? Okay, and Lava Kusha, they catch this horse. Okay, they defeat Lakshmana, and after that Rama is forced to come. They fight. Okay, that is what Ashwamedha Yajna is. Ashwamedha is a sacrifice of imperialism, expansion. Okay, expansionist sacrifice is Ashwamedha. Then the second one is Rajasuya. Rajasuya is a sacrifice of consecration. Consecration. Okay, consecration is the process where the king is crowned or the prince is crowned. He becomes a king, then it is known as consecration. Okay, the prince is crowned and he will become a king. So through a ceremony called consecration ceremony. Ceremony called consecration ceremony. This consecration, it leads to a person becoming a king. Yes, so that is what is known as Rajasuya sacrifice. And the last one is Vajapeya. Vajapeya means chariot race. Vajapeya means chariot race. Chariot race. Earlier what they used to do is, in order to select a king, they used to conduct a chariot race. And the winner of the chariot race is proclaimed as the king earlier. Okay, but later day what happened is, okay, they rigged the chariot race and they made the king win the chariot race. Okay, you're understanding? Okay, already the king is determined. And ritually he will participate in a chariot race with other people. And all of them will go deliberately slow in order to make the king win. Okay, that is what is known as Vajapeya sacrifice. Because a merit-oriented person only should become the king. That is the idea behind this. Okay, the person who is the best chariot racer. Okay, because chariot riding is an important activity at that point of time in war. So the best chariot racer should become the king. Okay, that was the idea, but later it became corrupt. So Ashwamedha, Rajasuya, and Vajapeya are three important public sacrifices. Then apart from that, there are many private sacrifices that a individual has to conduct at his home, and these are known as Panchamaha Yajna, and these are Deva, Pitru, Nara, Bhuta, and Brahma Yajna. Okay, so every day, every individual has to follow these Panchamaha Yajnas. Okay, Panchamaha Yajnas, wherein they have to conduct a sacrifice for gods. Pitru means for ancestors. Nara means for his neighbors. Bhuta means for fire, water. These are bhutas, right? Panchabhutas. So you have to conduct a sacrifice for Panchabhutas, and the last one is you have to conduct a sacrifice for Brahma. Okay, Brahma Yajna. So this way you have to, every individual has to conduct 5 sacrifices every day at home. And there will be some big public sacrifices too. Very complicated religion, right? Yes. Okay, every day every person has to conduct 5 sacrifices at home. Okay, very tough. Very tough. Okay. And that this is one of the reason for its unpopularity, because it is not practical. Okay, 5 बार खाने के लिए नहीं होता. You can't even eat for 5 times. Okay, how can you pray for 5 times? So that is a problem. Okay, so that is one thing which has made this religion unpopular. And the sacrifices which were conducted, they had 3 functions. One is known as cosmological, the second one is known as social, and the third one is psychological. Every sacrifice has 3 functions. One is sacrifice is meant to maintain the natural order. Okay, natural order. In order to maintain it, we conduct sacrifices. Okay, just like the sacrifices which are conducted for rain. Rain also requires some sacrifices. I think you know about it, right? No idea? If this conduct this sacrifice, then it will rain. Okay, so that is what is said in the Vedic literature. So for some cosmological balance, we conduct some sacrifices. For social betterment, okay, for social betterment, we conduct some sacrifices, and these sacrifices, they usually involve redistribution in society. This is very important idea. Redistribution in society. The redistribution is between Brahmins and Kshatriyas. The redistribution aspect is between Brahmins and Kshatriyas through a relation which is called Dana and Dakshina based relation. Dana and Dakshina based relation. Dana and Dakshina based relation is the relation which has to be established. Dana, Dakshina. Okay, Dana and Dakshina is the relation between Kshatriyas and Brahmanas, and it plays the role of social redistribution. The king will go fight, earn money, and he will come, he will perform a sacrifice, and he will give Danas and Dakshinas to Brahmins. Okay, it is a redistributive role it used to play. And along with that, it is also said that by conducting a sacrifice or a ritual, individual becomes psychologically more refined. The individual becomes psychologically more refined psychology. Refined psychology is an outcome of this. Yes, sir. Okay, Dana and no. They are little different. Okay, there is a fine difference between them. Okay, usually Dana is given to all Brahmins. Dakshina is only given to the person who performed the sacrifice. Okay, Dana is given to all Brahmins in the society, whereas Dakshina is given to the person who has performed a particular sacrifice. Okay, so that way they are different. So prominent ideas of Vedic religion, I think you have understood. Yes. Okay, so now we'll move to, you open the first page itself. In first page, I've given, okay, there are a total of, you write the statement down before this expert of Rigveda is Hotri. Okay, there are a total of 16 kinds of Brahmins who perform the sacrifices. A total of 16 kinds of Brahmins were present who used to perform the sacrifices. Okay, and the person who is an expert in Rigveda, he is called Hotri. It's called Hotri. It's given there, right? Okay, there are 16 Brahmins, and the expert of Rig Veda is known as Hotri. Okay, and the second one is, it talks about Samaveda. Okay, earlier in Rig Veda, the hymns have been composed, the poems have been composed, right? Okay, but how to pronounce or sing these poems, okay, is something which is the subject matter of Samaveda. Samaveda, it sets to tune the hymns of Rig Veda. Okay, Rig Veda का जो भी poems है उसको लेके what they do is they set it to music, then it is known as Samaveda. How they have to be pronounced, what kind of pauses have to be given, okay, how, okay, you should make them look like a song. So these kind of things are discussed in Samaveda. That is the reason why it is called as the Veda, which is the origin for music. Music has originated through Samaveda, and the priest of Samaveda, who is an expert in Samaveda, is known as Udgatri. Udgatri is the priest of Samaveda. And the next one is Yajurveda, and Yajurveda, it contains the mantras of sacrifice, ceremonies and ritual. Mantras of sacrifice, ceremonies and ritual. Okay, it gives some additional mantras, okay, and tantras, Yajurveda, and it contains two parts. One is known as Shukla Yajurveda, the second one is known as Krishna Yajurveda. Shukla Yajurveda, it is known as, Shukla means white, okay, Krishna means black, right? Okay, so Krishna and Shukla, and Shukla Yajurveda, it contains poetry, and it is for progress. Okay, it is for progress. Shukla is for progress, whereas Krishna is black rendition, and it contains prose. Prose means paragraphs. Okay, it contains prose, okay, written words in the form of paragraph, then it is known as prose, and it is for destruction. Okay, one is for progress, the other is for destruction. And the last one is Atharva Veda, and the priest of Yajurveda is known as Advayu. And the last is Atharva Veda, which contains spells of black magic chants. Okay, and Atharva Veda is considered as the origin of medicine, okay, because it is through black magic only medicine has originated. Yes, okay, you want to help someone, if you want to harm someone, okay, what you do? Okay, you go for black magic. In black magic itself, while searching for, okay, the herbs, okay, trees which can improve the health, okay, it formed the origin for medicine. Similarly, poisonous trees were also identified to harm other people. So that is what black magic is. Okay, the witches of yesterday are scientists of today. Okay, that is what is the case. Okay, so this is the origin of medicine, and the priest of Atharva Veda is known as Brahmana. Okay, Brahmana is the term which is given to the priest of Atharva Veda. Priest of Atharva Veda is called Brahman. Okay, now we'll move to the next term, that is Brahmanas. Okay, Brahmanas are explanatories on Vedas or commentaries on specific Vedas. Yes, I talked about it already. Then Rig Veda's explanatories are Aitreya and Kausitari Brahmana. Okay, two names are given, you just remember them. Only Rig Vedas you remember. All other Vedas are not important. Every Veda has its explanatory text. Only Rig Vedas you remember. One is known as Aitreya and the second is known as Kausitari Brahmana. And okay, there is one more Brahmana called Tandya Mahabrahmana. Okay, Tandya Mahabrahmana, it is important because it contains a ceremony called Vratyastoma ceremony. Vratyastoma ceremony. What is Vratyastoma? Vratyastoma is a conversion ceremony in Hinduism. If someone wants to convert to Hinduism, then they have to undergo this ceremony, which is known as Vratyastoma ceremony. It is contained in Tandya Mahabrahmana. Okay, and Aranyakas I already talked about. Okay, it is the origin of mysticism, and it talks about the symbolism of sacrifice and magic behind sacrifice. Magic behind sacrifice it talks about. Okay, by sacrificing a bull, what are you going to get? By sacrificing a horse, okay, what is the symbolic significance of this? Okay. The last one is Upanishads. Okay, Upanishads, they are 108 in number. What is the ideology in Upanishads and other things, I'll discuss after a short break. Take a break for 15 minutes, okay, and you come back fresh. So then after that, we'll move to the next topic. First, we will discuss Upanishads, then I'll talk about Vedic literature, and after Vedic literature, I'll talk about Brahmanism, and I think I'll be also able to discuss this concept of Puranic Hinduism. Okay, Puranic Hinduism, and I can give a brief on Buddhism too. Today, I'll try to wind up Buddhism. Till Buddhism, I'll try to wind up. Is this fine? Okay, so these are important sections. Okay, take a break for 15 minutes. Okay, I'll see 20 minutes, 11:15, I'll see you back. Okay, 11:15, exactly, it's 10:55, 11:15, I'll see you guys back.